Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 103 of the Alexei Sale podcast.
Love it. Thank you, studio audience.
Apparently, you're telling me off air in the green room of our studio complex here at Alexei Sale World.
Yeah, was it in the penthouse of a Premier Inn?
Of the I'll just Alexei Sale World with the hello John Gunn.
The theme park,
animatronic theme park, and the career slide from popularity, the 90s slide from popularity into relative obscurity, water slide. It's his career in the 90s water slide.
Nice new addition. It's expanding theme park.
Yeah.
We had our company was housed in a Premier Inn. If you remember, months ago we discussed that. Thanks to Lenny's sponsorship.
Did we? I don't remember that.
So maybe now around the Premier Inn we've built Alexeiland.
Yeah, well, there is a Premier Inn you can stay. Well, there's a number of hotels at different price points.
Oh, of course,
like Disneyland, where you can stay at the Alexei Sale World, Leonardo hotels, and there's
you have some luxury cabins.
Yes, and celebrity, for glamping.
Yeah,
in the forest of Jersey, and Bobby Chariot racing.
Oh, that's great.
That's a big feature. So many people many brave men have died.
Yeah, it's currently
Bobby
shut
Chariot
down.
Racing. You have to take pills.
It is currently
Jaguars.
shut
They're
down.
race horse-drawn Jaguars. It's a complicated metaphor. So it's come down to Alexei Sale World.
I think it was Alexeiland.
Alexeiland, was it? Alexeiland.
Well, the sign changes every few days. Can't land
just
on
to
the name.
confuse people. Which is down in Dorset, next to Monkey World and the Bovington Tank Museum, of course. Where else would it be?
We're slowly buying up land until we
around monkeys
until we absorb them.
Yeah, make that illusion. Have monkeys driving a T-34, which has always been my dream. So down in Dorset, in Bovington, in Dorset, Alexeiland, follow signs for Monkey World or Tank Museum, and then swerve off into the woods just when you feel like it. Just wrench the wheel to the left and smash into a tree.
We're working on a new spooky sector of the theme park.
Oh, yeah.
Based on our new world building we did last week.
Yeah, because of our popular Halloween episode. Yeah, so spooky Alexei World. So tell us all about this, the most divisive episode ever, you say.
Oh, my God. I can't help but be really proud of it because it's got people fucking talking, more comments than any other episode we've done.
So they talk to each other. I haven't looked at the comments yet, but do they talk to each other? Are there places where they can talk to each other? Or they just...
Well, people can chat with each other in the chat room at patreon.com/alexeisaylepodcast.
Right. Yeah.
And although you might be listening to this on your favorite podcasting app, there's also the audio goes up on YouTube where there is a comment section. So people go back and forth on that.
Oh, did you send them films we did for Spotify? You sent them off, by the way.
Yes. So if you listen on Spotify or if you listen to Alexei's audio,
if you buy my audio
on Spotify, you'll get as part of your Spotify Wrapped, you'll get a little message from Alexei. But Spotify is a huge, evil, horrible company. So we don't promote or endorse, or this ain't no fucking sponsorship. Right. I've actually switched. I've transitioned away from Spotify. I'm a long time. I was a member of. I joined Spotify when I was at uni, back in the 2009, 2010, and you needed to be invited to join Spotify, and it was just this small Swedish startup
on your iPod,
on your laptop. You had to get an invite code from someone who was already a member, and it was so hard for me to get because everyone gets 5 invites, and they're very it would put you in a position of power,
Like that. It's a bit like that celebrity dating site where Lily Allen met her husband.
Raya, yeah. It was like
written
that.
an album about.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Fuck everything else. Have you listened to Lily Allen's album? Because you are a family friend of hers.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's a big fan, and I was like, you're like 2 degrees of separation away from Lily
Unky
Allen.
Lex. That's what Lily used to call me.
Unky Lex.
She didn't really.
Oh. Have you not listened to the album?
I haven't yet, and I've just read articles in The Guardian about it.
Any thoughts, any feelings? What do you think about exposing your whole, very personal drama into an album?
I mean, it's never been my inclination. Really. It's always my inclination has been to hide. Although there are, I suppose, in a sense, poignant revelatory bits to some extent in my book, which is coming out next year. But I've mixed feelings about it, really. I mean, obviously, it is something that artists do, and if that's well, I always think years ago, Linda met a comedian, one of the original comedians, and she said, "Oh, how are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm really upset. My father just died." She's like, "I'm sorry." He said, "Yeah, I thought I'd get at least 10 minutes material out of it, but so far nothing." So that impulse for artists, I suppose it's to mine the kind of complexities of their life. I mean, I think it's something that, Lily's always done, really, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's talking about
songwriting
and stuff like that. There's a certain, I suppose, Graham Greene talked about the authors needing to have a chip of ice, in their soul, a kind of coldness, really, a willingness to exploit themselves and those around them. And I suppose you could say that in that sense, Lily is just, following in a noble tradition. But I have mixed feelings about it.
For those who don't know, Lily Allen had a very messy but quite public, it was all in the news, breakup with her husband, David Harbour, who, although they were in a polyamorous relationship, because of his insistence, he broke the rules, the parameters of that relationship.
Yeah.
And now she's exposed him as the sex fiend he is in this tell-all album.
And, have you listened to it? Is it good?
It is good. Yes.
Melodic.
There's some like leaf blower outside on the street, so sorry about the noise. It's got some bangers, it's got some knee slappers, there's some toe tappers, there's some very funny lyrics, there's some very personal stuff. It is very like dishy gossip, it's like reading Heat magazine, but like a whole fucking novel of it, it's really dishy. But the music holds up, so it's fine. I don't know whether in 10 years we'll still be talking about it.
No, there is also that thing. I mean, we're going back to Lily's early years of that, kind of singing in that Cockney voice and talking about London and all, while privately educated daughter of an actor and a film producer. Really, it's that kind of posh people.
I think it's moved on from that style as well. The style has matured. But I don't know if she ever pretended to be not posh.
No, I suppose not.
She was a privileged girl, but she was always quite cool in her delivery.
I know there is just a contradiction there, but then, maybe it's... Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, very sensitive to that. Particular issue. Actually, I've just been. Have you watched Girl Bands Forever?
What's that?
Girl Bands.
Oh, is that a follow up from the boy bands one?
Boy Bands Forever
documentary.
Yeah,
about girl bands. No, I haven't. Tell me everything.
Well, it's also got the only reason I watch Boy Bands Forever is because to see Anthony Costa from Blue, who I did Richard Osman's House of Games with. Was similarity. One of the interviewees in Girl Bands Forever is Kelly Bryant, who I also did Richard Osman's House of Games with. And so
what band is she from?
She was in Eternal. Yeah, she only got fired by fax, I think. Which dates him, anyways.
Okay.
It's not quite as interesting as boy bands. I think the music is worse, really. But it was interesting. And certainly, obviously, I didn't know. I've always liked Atomic. I mean, it was really weird. I didn't know that Andy McCluskey of Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, Birkenhead 80s synth band, was the kind of Svengali behind Atomic Kitten. So that was interesting. So it isn't. And I didn't, obviously I was. Partly it wasn't my music.
Kitten. I haven't heard that name for a long time.
Yeah, I think they've all revived. They're all working that rewind circuit. I think a lot of them bands.
Mm-hmm.
The main ones that they featured were Eternal, Girls Aloud. I don't know.
Sugar Babes.
Sugar Babes. Yeah, Sugar Babes were very central. Atomic Kitten, and obviously the Spice Girls. Although they've been done. They're a separate category in a sense. But yeah, it was interesting. If anybody's, I enjoyed it.
All right, that's an Alexei recommends.
Yeah, Alexei recommends Girl Bands Forever. Well, it also, because I wasn't really paying much attention to pop music by then, but also obviously girl bands were not. Were not my area of interest, really.
It's funny, when I was younger, I was a grunger. I was fully into rock and some metal and grunge music. And so I fully just rejected pop on a surface level. Like, if it classified as pop, I wouldn't even fucking listen to it. When it came on the radio, I took great pleasure in being like, oh, this pop shit, fucking bullshit, I'm not listening to this, change the channel, put XFM on and all that. It's so cliquey and divisive. But now that I'm older, I'm like, if it's good, I like it. I don't, I've really gotten over that feeling. And I don't know when that switch happened.
Well, it's very mature of you.
But I take great joy in a lot of pop. Like, Brat is one of the greatest albums I've fucking heard. Yeah. It's insane. It's so
Charlie
simple,
X,
but it's iconic.
Yeah, I know who that's by.
Well done. Nice. But I still love my rock music.
I've been listening to it. I've really got into Adrian Lenker. So a lot of sort of kind of country folk rock. Sadness is a Gift, I think, is one of the most amazing tracks I've ever heard.
Adrian Lenker.
I've been listening to a lot of, but also like Adrian Lenker, Big Thief. Can't remember now.
Did you ever listen to or encounter the Incredible String Band?
I went to see them when I was at art school at the Liverpool Philharmonic.
Oh my god, they're one of my favorites.
Yeah, I wasn't really one of you. I don't really like live music, so I wasn't able to fully comprehend what was going on. There was a girl at college who was really into. No, maybe I saw them at Clitheroe. There was a pop festival in Lancashire town at Clitheroe 69. I either saw them there or at the Philharmonic Hall. I saw T-Rex, original T-Rex, Mark Bolan, Steve Peregrine Took. And then I saw Pentangle as well. Philharmonic Hall. I didn't know what was going on, really.
Speaking of live performances, this Saturday, I'm hoping this will be out by then. I'll be doing a reading at the White Kite Collective's show.
Oh, right. I don't know. Did they ask me to do that? I don't remember.
If you live in London, come and, do a good thing. Come see Stand With Palestinians, Messages from Gaza on 8th of November in Stratford East.
Yeah.
And me and Alexei are appearing in... So it's finally coming out. Remember we went and did some filming with Tig Hickey?
Yes.
And Nicole Jenez?
Yes.
For their new sketch show, YouTube series.
Yes.
It's got a name and it's got a date. It's coming out on Monday. And it's called Now. Not on our watch. Now with 2 O's, and it's coming out on Monday on YouTube, and it'll come out every Monday after that for 7 weeks or 5 weeks.
5 weeks, I think.
And I really hope you can all go and
Tiger, a nice guy, and of course he was on the Sumud Freedom.
Yep, Freedom.
So he's got personal experience of Israeli hospitality.
Yeah, absolutely mental. And Alexei does a sketch, and I do a bunch, and I'm really actually quite excited for that. And it's finally coming out, and they've got big aims to do a second series that's bigger and better. And they said they want to create like an anti-imperialist Saturday Night Live, basically. And that's Now Media on YouTube. NOOW Media
Now
on YouTube. Go give that a follow, folks.
Just to come back to Linda's got a particular hatred of leaf blowers.
Oh yeah,
she can't see the sense in them really.
So do I right now.
Yeah, it's also wouldn't a brush rather than a sort of machine, a huge noisy snouty machine with a motor in it? Why can't you just sweep the leaves up with a brush? That's what grinds my gears. Leaf blowers. I'm just trying to read my Bible. There's this terrible racket outside in Sky with a leaf blower. That's what grinds my gears. Why not just use a brush?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's all that about? Any pro leaf blower? I think there's probably an intersection between Zionism and leaf blower. Maybe they're all made by Elbit Systems. I don't know, but they're irredeemably evil. What's the anybody wants to defend the leaf blower? I'll debate with them at the Oxford Union. This house believes that the leaf blower is an essential adjunct to a tidy patio.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'd debate that with them.
Hit us up in the comments.
Yeah. So let's check up. So we still haven't got why our most. If you'd like to describe to those that weren't involved in this, why episode 102 of the Alexei podcast was the most divisive ever. Over to you, Talal.
Well, last week we did a Halloween special, and I created a Dungeons and Dragons one shot for Alexei to play through. It was like a little horror story involving like a spooky castle, but obviously I wove in loads of like references to his career and like your party basically and people he hates. But the comments, I couldn't be happier. So the comments were so harshly on either end of the spectrum of completely loving what it was or just being like, okay, Rika said, never let Talal do this again. He's not good. He's not a good narrator or storyteller. Painful, dull, kill me now.
That is a phrase that I did use I did said it in Spanish, didn't I? Yes. But I did
this was so awful,
myself.
Says, enjoy yourself now. Please don't do it again. Turned it off after 6 minutes. Infinity of 6 said, I made it to 1 minute 12. Think I'll skip this one. And if it had only lasted 10 minutes, it might have been funny. In a postmodern, ironically painful and horrifying way, but to keep going, just torture. I'm with Alexei on this one, says Ruth. I don't think I'd keep listening if it became regular. And then some of the people would comment and then also emailed us, like just to drive the message home, you know.
Yeah.
Making sure someone said Talal needs to be gagged. So some really fucking harsh and awful shit, you know, worse than some of the shit you were saying. Let me see if there's another really awful one. This one's funny. Ian said, listening to this is like watching a dog being forced to learn how to play the piano. However, on the other side of the spectrum, this was hilarious and excruciating in equal measure. I look forward to the remainder of the campaign, says Andrew. That was all right. A bit like something out of a horror movie. Good effort, Talal. A lot of people said good effort. Robotic polishing, buffing Debo said nice effort, Talal. Nice to hear from you both. Jamie said the best comedic parody of D&D since the IT Crowd. Arguably even better. I think there's more chance of Alexei doing another D&D session than your party getting their shit together. That was brilliant, lads. A perfect antidote to a hungover drive from Glasgow. Best episode so far. Love it when you tackle the important issues. And that's just on the YouTube comments. Talal, you're a legend and Alexei doesn't deserve you. I've never played D&D, but now I want to. Then, wait, there's another nice one. Oh, never mind, Talal. I can't win them all. D&D can be quite Brechtian at times. Can't believe Alexei didn't go for it. 5 minutes in, but I had to comment already. Talal, that intro, I love it. Great stuff, man. And then on the Patreon, scary as fuck. Laura says, by the end, I was enjoying Alexei's sincere exasperation and anger. I think I'd watch another one of these, but only one more.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
Thoroughly enjoyed listening to the desperate Dungeon Master grind through his beautifully crafted mini campaign. Haha, that was excruciatingly awful in the best possible way. So obviously we found, and I got a lot of love because I also shared my flowchart and my writings on a separate post on the Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/alexeisaylepodcast, you can see how much fucking work I put into this. And I got a lot of appreciation for that. I really appreciate you all, everyone at home, and so does Alexei.
Yeah.
For your comments and interactions. Honestly, leaving comments, liking the thing. You can review it on Spotify, review it on Apple Podcasts. That really helps the podcast get out there. You don't understand how important doing that stuff is. So getting interactions like this is so good for the podcast. So I don't care if you hated it. It was an experiment. It was a one-off until next Halloween, probably. But, we found a fun gag that, like, every time I'd ask you, what do you do? You'd say you want to kill yourself. Like, that was, like, funny, yeah? But I do think, honestly, maybe if we do it again next Halloween, if you actually... So now we've done that joke. That's good. We've done it, all right?
It wasn't a joke. It was a genuine reaction.
Yeah, sure.
I wasn't being funny.
But if you actually, like, engaged with it and put your acting skills into it and actually engaged with the story and talked to the characters, you can find a way to take the piss out of it through doing that. Rather than doing the same thing again, I think if we do it again, I want to see you. Otherwise, I'm going to just stop the recording. We won't carry on. I want to see you actually engage and do it properly. Okay. But take the piss out of me as much as you like.
Okay.
By using the system, you can do that in a clever way, I believe. But anyway, I really fucking enjoyed doing it. I laughed my fucking ass off. It was so nice. Someone said this looks like elder abuse. I was like, yeah. There was a really sadistic part of me that really enjoyed doing that to you.
All right. Well, yes. All right. A Halloween tradition then.
But something that came up was a couple of people had a big go at you because you said Halloween is an American import, but Halloween is actually an Irish import.
Oh no!
Halloween is Irish, and some people are like, Alexei, you should know that. America stole it from Ireland, and I suppose we've imported America's version of Halloween.
I mean, obviously, All Hallows is a kind of presumably it predates Christianity, that it has the feeling of being. So I should refine my hatred really to the trick or treating and that aspect of that commercialization of Halloween and the Halloween shit in the supermarkets and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, All Hallows itself, I assume, I don't know, educate me, please, that it's presumably something like Day of the Dead. It's a I imagine it like Christmas itself, or
Well, it's an Irish tradition called Samhain. Please forgive if I've pronounced that incorrectly, but it's spelt Samhain, and I'm saying Samhain for the moment.
But we've always had Halloween here. It just took a different form, and
you might be surprised. So traditionally, it was celebrated on 31st of October. The festival of Samhain is meant to celebrate the end of the harvest season and the coming of winter. Samhain marks the time of year when livestock were brought in from their summer grazing grounds. Great feasts. The ancient Celtic people also traditionally lit enormous bonfires to keep away the spirits of the dead, thought to awaken during Samhain. And the Irish is Celtic, right? And Scottish is Celtic. Have I got that wrong?
I don't know. But,
please, dear God, I hope so. I don't want to get any hate online after last week. According to Celtic culture, the transitions between seasons are associated with spirits and fairies. So there is a ghostly element to the origins.
Of course, yeah.
When the boundaries between the worlds were at their weakest. Yeah, the most significant time of the year for spirits was Samhain, when the boundary... why are you repeating yourself? This is the one night of the year between the 31st of October and 1st of November, where it is said that spirits and fairies could easily cross into our world. Okay, if I may carry on just a little bit, there's 2 more points here. 3 more points. Why do we hand out food and sweets? To keep the spirits at bay, the people left out offerings, mostly food and drink, not unlike the offerings given out during American Halloween, as well as a seat at the feast table to appease those stowaway ancestors and fairies. This was meant to appease the spirits and convince them not to get up to any mischief. Perhaps not the same as handing out free candy to kids, but you can see the connection. I'm reading this from wildernessisland.com, by the way.
Okay.
Why do we wear Halloween costumes? Well, the idea wasn't to dress up as something like a pirate or a vampire. Instead, the practice of disguising oneself is sort of a countermeasure to hide from the spirits and fairies.
Well, see, I approve of all that, really. It's just this. A friend of mine was also saying, friend who's got a nervy dog, that she has to take it to her parents now for about 3 weeks because fireworks everything. Halloween seems to involve fireworks now. And then you've got Diwali as well and bonfire night, which... so you got fireworks going off for about 3 weeks or so towards the end of
May, and it's gone wild. I woke up to news stories today of like people attacking police and firefighters with fireworks,
right?
Like firing fireworks at firefighters all over the country.
Yes, it does feel
it's
like
gone fucking wild.
Yeah,
as well as in London, obviously. And I went last night. There's this tradition that it's my first time doing it in this neighborhood, but like up the road, there's Telegraph Hill, which is a nice park on top of a hill. You can see all of London.
Right.
Huge gathering there of families and youngsters all drinking, and on the lower part of the park, people were setting off fireworks, and it's one guy. I love pyrotechnic enthusiasts because this one guy, he had a high vis on. He made a little cordon, told everyone to stand back, and was just doing a little display for the neighborhood, not being paid or anything like that. And it was very nice and really well put together. And then he finished, and then you got these like Utes came, and they'd gotten this massive rocket. I don't know where they fucked. Well, I guess they went to a fireworks shop and spent all their money on one big rocket. And they just stuck it in the ground instead of putting it in that pipe that you're meant to put it in.
Yeah.
And so it didn't take off.
No.
And there was like families and kids around, and then the fuse lit, and the rocket just like wasn't taking off and was just like wobbling on the grass. And everyone was like, take cover! People were like diving behind bushes, and it blew up. It was so fucking massive.
Yeah.
And bright and colourful and all the fizzy bits, but it was on ground level. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like it's the closest thing we've had to a war zone in this country since the Blitz.
Yeah. Yeah, well, again, add your weigh in on this argument, people. But it's, I mean, in a sense, I mean the lords of misrule, and on one level, public disorder is something I quite like. I think it's also got a kind of ancient. I remember
it was fun.
When we lived in really Fulham, reading when you think of the olden timey days as being, placid. But for some reason, I remember when we lived in Fulham reading some back copies of the Fulham Chronicle, the local paper, from I think around about 1910. And the headline most weeks was troops being called to put down public licentiousness on Parsons Green and stuff.
The fuck?
But actually literally calling out the military or the local yeomanry or whatever. And that was like a regular occurrence.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, we've not seen that yet here.
No.
Could be coming.
Fireworks, they grind my gears. What's it with firework night? We're not just celebrating the burning of Catholics anymore. It's all over the place.
So Guy Fawkes was a Catholic then, and was that his whole and I know he wasn't even like the main guy in his posse. He was just the guy who was guarding the gunpowder barrels in the basement, right? Of House of Commons. He's the one they caught.
Yeah. It was I think it was partly an excuse to crack down on Catholics. But yeah, it's a Catholic plot to murder the Protestant Parliament, I think.
And I thought of this because every country has their version of fireworks night, and you got Bastille Day in France and Independence Day in America, but they all tend to be Independence Day celebrations.
Yeah,
and in the UK, we don't have that because we've always been the colonizer, right?
Yeah.
And so our one is the day we stopped an Independence Day.
Good point.
There's our fight.
I think there's also, but like with Diwali and stuff, again, I don't mind. I think a festival of light is perhaps fireworks is about trying to maybe, because you're going into the months of darkness, a kind of final, a final, kind of shower of light before we go into the darkness, which they didn't know. They didn't know that spring was going to return. Really, they could only hope. It's also that's why people argue. I mean, bullfighting is obviously a hideous thing, which I think is dying out in Spain. But it is also, bullfighting is a religious ritual, again, a pre-Christian religious ritual, because the matador with his suit of lights is the sun, and what he essentially does is sacrifice the bull to the gods. So it's that's my understanding anyway. Again, which is not to justify bullfighting, because it's obviously gruesome, but it's weird in that it is both. Not really a sport, whatever, but it's actually people are going to watch a ritual sacrifice of an animal by a toreador who essentially, in my understanding, represents the sun.
But however, much like Halloween, it's not only linked to religion or folklore beliefs, but it's also very much linked to farming and harvesting. Because when they kill the bull, they would cut it up and give it out to the neighborhood, and everyone would get to eat that night.
Yeah. I really, that's my knowledge of all this is very patchy. I think sumo might be a sumo that was recently in the
Royal Albert Hall.
The Royal Albert Hall. I used to love the sumo when it was first on Channel 4. I think that might also be a religious ritual.
Originated in ancient times as a Shinto ritual to entertain the gods and pray for a bountiful harvest. Well, surely you'd send your skinniest people if you want a bountiful harvest. Its mythical origins are described in ancient Japanese texts, which recount a wrestling match between gods and legendary match in 23 BC between two strong men in front of the emperor.
You can't say that about Premier League football, can you? Well, I mean, people make it a religion But a very enjoyable match, I have to say, between Liverpool and Real Madrid the other night. A truly great game. And also there was a great Trent Alexander-Arnold that was the hero of Liverpool, who went to play for Real Madrid. And there was when he came on, was being booed. There was a bloke, just the epitome of kind of football fan idiocy, a bloke. They cut to the shot of a bloke screaming at him, and wearing the Liverpool strip and then kissing the live bird on his breast and screaming at Trent Alexander-Arnold. It was everything that is grotesque and magnificent about football, soccer.
It's
that was good.
I saw a video recently about how events like football matches and festivals are a kind of government prescribed way of allowing people to release their revolutionary energy.
Yes, absolutely. There was a big bit in Sandwich Bar about it. The second series about
do the whole thing. Sorry, go on, carry on.
But this kind of it's because it's catharsis, really. What Brecht, it's sinking your emotions into this thing with uncritically. It's what Brecht always criticized about players was this kind of bestial submersion. Or maybe I think definitely. We always because we live next door to Liverpool's football ground, more or less. Our family always felt partly that if it wasn't for Liverpool FC, then the workers would be studying, Wages, Prices and Profits by Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Yeah. It was only football that was getting in the way. But
and if you could harness that fucking energy in it at those
although
events.
we did support Moscow Dynamo, so wearing the Moscow Dynamo away kit going into school on a Monday morning.
Yes, sumo as well, man. It's appeasing the gods, but also about farming. They want it's to ensure a successful harvest. Like these things happen when food was important. Imagine now it's like football matches in order to pray for more bountiful fucking microwave burgers or whatever. It's like
football. I don't know. A few years ago, you could see that football was being very much co-opted by the military. Really, there was they'd sort of sneaked their way into. You'd often get military displays before matches. I don't know whether that's still going on, really, but it was. Again, that sort of was part of the bit that I did in Sandwich Bar about it. And clearly, obviously, in the States, it's militarized and it's a kind of xenophobic. Kind of ritual about baseball and American football are deeply bedded in the state. What's happened to that Colin Kaepernick? The one who took the knee. How's he doing? How's he doing these days? Old Colin Kaepernick, how's he doing?
He's not played NFL since 2016.
No.
After he began kneeling during the national anthem.
Yeah.
After his contract expired, he became a free agent, but was not signed by any teams. He filed a grievance against the NFL for collusion. They settled in 2019. He continues to train and advocate for social justice, and though he has expressed a desire to return to the league, no NFL team has signed him.
There you go.
So he is now an advocate and an activist. He just graduated, it looks like. Congratulations. He went back to his studies. And he does talks.
Right. He's okay, though, is he?
He's smiling in his pictures.
Oh, good. All right.
So in oldie-timey Ireland, they used to wear costumes to confuse any spirits who might be looking for a specific person. And they also used to carve vegetables before they ever had pumpkins in Europe. They would carve turnips in order to ward off the spirits. Okay, and lastly, it's said that Halloween was carried to the USA by Irish immigrants, much like St. Patrick's Day. And over time, the holiday gradually, they say changed, but got bastardized.
Yeah,
to fit
commercialized.
To fit with the American idea, commercialized,
Yeah.
Which is elaborate costumes, scary movies, blah blah. So shame on you, Alexei, for thinking it was American.
No,
but we live and we learn.
I take your rebuke, comrades, and resolve to be better.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Right, Mamdani.
Oh yes, we haven't even got to that. Yes, so this is the day after, I think. Oh, the joy it was to be alive, but to be young was the very heaven. With the day after Mamdani, yes, has been elected Democratic Socialist, been elected to be mayor of New York. Obviously, he's when there was a string of people on the news, Sky News, and BBC yesterday, resolutely avoiding his position on Palestine, which is anti-Zionist.
Really?
I would say, really. I mean, nobody mentioned a dicky bit about that. And yet, I think that is a crucial part of his appeal, frankly.
Yeah.
And certainly a crucial part of who he is. And there is that wonderful bit when he's involved in a 5-way debate between the candidates. I think before he got the Democratic nomination, and they all say, where was the first country you would go to after you were made mayor? And you were made, and they all said Israel, and he said, "I'll stay here."
Yeah.
And he has to pay, without waffle, which some of even our best politicians, our left politicians. Do you believe? And they ask him, don't you believe in Israel's right to exist? And he says, I believe it has a right to exist not as a Jewish state, but a state where all have rights.
Mm-hmm. As a democracy.
Which is very much a position this podcast would endorse. And he hasn't watered that down or walked away from that at all, really. And it was remarkable how certainly every commentator I saw. And the other thing that the two governors, I think, Spanberger and the other one, and I think one of them was actually in the CIA and one of them was a Navy helicopter pilot or something, or both from the centrist, right wing of the Democratic Party. So, hopefully he is the future, and we can, the left here can learn an awful lot from him. He is remarkable. It'd be interesting to see how much obstruction both the right wing and the Democratic Party. There's walking corpses of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and people like that. How much they try and put in his way, and also, of course, Trump as well. The U.S. establishment, both Democratic and the Republican, I guess, don't want him to succeed really. So we'll see how that plays out. It's an interesting time, really.
A strong advantage he has, however, is that the New York mayor, the office of the New York mayor, has spent decades kind of increasing its power, increasing its ability to actually change or influence law and policy in New York, because it's had such cunts in its seat,
Right.
And now suddenly the socialist is in that seat, and hopefully we'll be able to wield those powers that the capitalist billionaire class has been taking advantage of. But yes, they're going to put as many fucking hurdles and blockages.
You would think so. So yeah, it would be interesting to see how he navigates that. Really, no, obviously we wish him well.
And I think
if he wants to come on the podcast,
oh please,
we could probably spare him 5 minutes.
And Polanski's very much carrying that kind of similar energy, isn't he?
Yeah, right. You think of them as very similar in a sense. Yeah, he has that similar. He's a very good media performer.
Yep, and good on the socials, and he's got his own podcast as well, which is pretty good.
Yes, well, if he wants us to have us on his podcast, or with him come on our podcast, we'd be happy
Politics.
to.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring us on, Zach.
Yeah. We have few enough successes in our line of work, so it's nice to have a victory for once.
Yeah. And the energy in New York seems to be really fucking revolutionary and loud and exciting. So I hope that.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I mean, both Navarro and I noticed Owen Jones have, because he, like fucking West Streeting sent him, saying, victory for progressive politics. I mean, as many people have pointed out, Mamdani wouldn't, because of the views he's expressed on Palestine and other things, he would have been expelled from the Labour Party long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, would never, the Labour Party is the antithesis. And I noticed there was on Navarre, a bit of Bridget Phillipson, the Education Secretary, just pretending she'd never heard of him. And one of the things you realise, I'm watching Rachel Reeves and David Lammy's lamentable performance on, this is getting very Westminster Village, isn't it? But David Lammy's lamentable performance of Prime Minister's questions yesterday is one of the things about.
Wait, what happened? Not everyone saw
it. So there's some Tory had found out already that the prison service had accidentally released two more prisoners that they shouldn't have released.
Yeah.
And so questioned him, asked him 5 times whether anybody had been prematurely released. And Lammy refused to answer, but sort of went on the attack in a kind of ludicrously baroque way. Pull yourself together, man. I know I'm Justice Secretary. I mean, it was just a really 0 stars kind of performance, really. But one of the things you realise about all them Labour people is, Rachel Reeves and Lammy and Starmer himself, is how, apart from how wicked they are, is how stupid they are, that they're really, really stupid people. Fourth-rate people. And, one thing they were good at really was conspiring to lock left-wing members out of the Labour Party. And now that they're left in charge, this tiny, narrow coterie of reactionaries, it's just how shit they are at their job, which is politics, really. And it was just, Lammy yesterday was
embarrassing.
Embarrassing, yeah.
And all it does is it gives space to these far-right people.
Yeah, clearly they are. Yeah, they are. But deliberately or accidentally, they are enabling the far right. But, they're just fucking idiots.
And do we really think they're going to be any better at politics, this fucking...
well, no, but
far-right, millionaire, billionaire appeasing...
I suppose the plan is
sponsored.
I suppose the plan is to use the weight then of the state to crush opposition, really. Like what Hitler did.
We have to keep resisting, keep supporting the good people.
Yeah.
And as little as possible, have any infighting, like where possible.
Yeah.
An interesting theory about labeling yourself as a socialist, for example. As opposed to being politically not categorizing yourself, as opposed to not categorizing yourself politically, it puts you in this box, and anything outside of that box you have to disagree with. Because if you're a socialist, then anything that's not socialist, by definition, you have to say, no, that's wrong, that will never work. And that's what breeds this kind of just pure fighting between socialists versus communists.
Is this your theory, or is this something?
No, it's something I read
said
online. But
some truth in that. Well, certainly you have to be open to, all influences. I think your core has to be, if you're a socialist, if you believe in, I believe in Marxism, and therefore I see everything through that lens. But it doesn't mean that I'm not, I'm not open to other voices, really, other influences. That's what makes me so great.
We have to be able to evolve and learn and adapt.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. In this Girls Aloud video, not Girls Aloud, sorry, Girl Bands Forever. There's a scene, I think it's Eternal. It was Louise who became Louise Redknapp, I think. She just left. Anyway, there's a bit scene of them on Top of the Pops, but the ones introducing them are Stuart Lee and Richard Herring, who obviously back in the 90s,
Lee and Herring
hosted
Top of the Pops.
Top of the Pops. And Stuart they both look really uncomfortable at doing it. And Stuart's got like hair growing down in front of his face, kind of dangling down.
Trying to cover his face.
Yeah. And well, I think it was the look. He was a very pretty boy when he was young. But I don't know whether it was just funny, really. And then you can see them both kind of squirming with the contradictions, I think, of hosting Top of the Pops.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then to
who hosted it when you were on?
I did. I've never hosted Top of the Pops.
No, but you were on Top of the Pops with your
I was on Top
pop
of the Pops twice, yeah.
Who was the host?
That's different, isn't it? I wasn't the host. Though.
I'm asking who was the host.
Oh, it was
Jesus.
Sorry. I'm only 73, stop shouting now.
Oh, and I gave you Alzheimer's last week.
Yeah. It was John Peel and who was that? The Canadian one. It was Mike Smith? No, Mike.
Dennis Pennis?
No. Radio 1 DJ.
I know that was played by Paul Kane. I'm not an idiot. I am an idiot. Okay, so it wasn't any of the pedos. Good.
Well, I think there's some question marks about John Peel, but
whoops.
If we're allowed to say that. But
no, we're allowed. I think I've heard that.
Not exactly. But and so anyway, so Stuart says no, Eternal, and then just as they cut, Richard Herring shouts out, "Where's Louise?" Because they'd just been through this traumatic. I'm sure the band.
How anarchic!
Exactly. I think I was like, son, just don't try and pretend you're not part of this process. Just fucking, don't. But it was funny seeing these two of them squirming with kind of. I don't know. I mean, if Stuart listens to this.
Well, so they're walking on about to sing and they hear this and
it affects them. Richard Herring going, "Where's Louise?" Well, they're miming anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I mean,
that's like fucking.
It was interesting.
Cocker showing Michael Jackson his ass.
Yeah. So
you were talking
if anybody
about.
Else has pointed out that Stuart was on that.
I think I'm trying to squeeze this in. You were talking about how Democrats and right wing, the Democrat Party have been really shitty about Mamdani.
Yeah.
Listen to this tweet by Kamala Harris. I'm saddened to learn of the passing of former Vice President Dick Cheney. Vice President Cheney was a devoted public servant. From the halls of Congress to many positions of leadership in multiple presidential administrations. His passing marks the loss of a figure who, with a strong sense of dedication, gave so much of his life to the country he loved.
Fucking hell, she's awful, isn't she? I so hate her, really.
He's a fucking war criminal.
Yeah. As is she.
Yeah. So there's no difference between, they're all just in bed with each other, and as long as the killing carries on and the profits keep coming in, and their sponsors are happy, then they will just say anything.
Yeah. It's a problem. Don't know if anybody else agrees with me. I think that's a problem. I'm going to put myself out there, but I think it's wrong. I don't wish to.
Careful,
Michael McIntyre say, if you take a political position, you alienate half your audience. So I don't wish to do that, but
where's Louise?
Where's Louise? Yeah.
Where's Louise?
Where's Louise? Eternal. Yeah. You've hosted Top of the Pops. You've already fucking signed on. Don't pretend.
No, but he's saying what the public want to hear.
Where's Louise? No, Yeah, it's a very. I can't. I urge people to watch it just for that because the two of them, very, very. Obviously, we're very, very fond of Stuart here, but the two of them, the younger self,
him saying "Where's Louise" is like Mamdani saying, Zionism is questionable. Him saying "Where's Louise" is like Zach Polanski saying "tax the billionaires." Him saying "Where's the Louise"? Where's Louise is like Corbyn saying "for the many, we should look after the many, not the few."
Exactly.
And "Where's Louise" could be actually the analogy.
Could be our slogan. Yeah.
It's
it's from the 90s.
It's our version of what's that they used to say about Joe Biden? Let's go, Brandon. In America, the Trumpists during the election, they would say, "Let's go, Brandon," and it means "fuck you, Biden." But it was their code.
Oh, right.
And so, where's Louise?
Where's Louise? It could be our slogan. Let's adopt that as our slogan.
It's our rebellious outcry. We're not supposed to say it. It's the thing it's the one thing you're not supposed to say. Tax the rich. Fuck Israel.
Where's Louise?
Where's Louise? Okay, if we're not allowed to say it, we'll say a thing that everyone knows what it means.
Yeah. Okay.
Revolution.
There is that myth that the girl who says "who's that fat bastard" in the second series of Alexei Sales.
It's Cheryl Cole, right?
Cheryl Cole, Tweedy Cole. It isn't really. I know Andrew Marshall, one of the writers, emailed me the other day saying he just learned that. Linda texted back to it. It's not true. I don't think it is true, really. It's just there was actually I think there was another girl who was supposed to say it, but her mum stopped her because she was a Christian. So that girl with the T-shirt that says Cheryl was certainly a replacement for the girl that was supposed to say it.
And you don't think
who's
it was
the
Cheryl
leader
Cole?
of the gang? To you, it's an urban myth.
alexeisaylepodcast.
Alexei
Sale.
We love to hear him swear on the TV.
Hey, I was going to try and wrap us up, but I have to know, actually.
BBC.
Oh.
Yes.
Shut up. I was going to wrap up, but I have to know. Did you have that phone call a couple of weeks ago?
With who?
With the American producer, writer.
Oh, yeah.
What was his name? And he was going to give you the lowdown on the Golden Hotel fiasco.
Palace.
Golden Palace.
Jim Vallely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, would you like to share your findings?
Yeah, well, it was obviously... Well, it was slightly different to what I'd thought, really. I mean, I'd said comedically. Here's a listener of the podcast. So, hi, Jim. Thank you very much for settling that. I knew it wasn't really about Rue McClanahan's tomatoes.
Would you remind us, actually? Give us what you thought. And
when I was 39, I went to the United States to star in a sitcom. I essentially replaced B. Arthur in The Golden Girls, for those who remember that. After she left, they kept the series going, but it was called The Golden Palace. Dude, 3 other women, Estelle Getty, Rue McClanahan, and Betty White, bought a hotel in Miami. And the receptionist was, oh God, I've forgotten his name, Don Cheadle. He never mentions that. And I was the wacky East European chef. And Jim Vallely told me that what happened was that it was a very troubled production, really.
Wait, tell us what you thought happened.
Linda thought that they would replace me with Cheech Marin from Cheech and Chong, and Linda thought that they were always going to do that. They were just using me to get Cheech to lower his price.
Right.
Jim Vallely says that wasn't quite what happened. That during rehearsals, I think they felt I wasn't working out. So one of the producers, he also had this story that Susan Harris, the writer, wanted my character to originally be played by conjoined twins, by Siamese twins. So they auditioned a load of Siamese twins. I don't think there are that many. Anyway, that's a bizarre side note. But
sideshow.
They thought I wasn't working out, and so one of the producers, Susan Harris's husband, had bumped into Cheech Marin I think in Aspen or somewhere, and offered him the part. And so they were just going to let it play out until Cheech was ready. They would just let me shoot 2 episodes. But when we came to do the pilot, on the opening, I just got this massive laugh on every line, because what had seemed flat in rehearsals, I made work in front of an audience. And so my character was getting these massive laughs. But by then they'd kind of hired Cheech, and so they just fired me anyway on my 40th birthday. And I remember Jim saying to the producer, whoever came to fire me, he said, "Did he see it coming?" And he said, "No, I didn't see it. I don't think I did see it coming." I mean, I was very conflicted about doing it anyway. But it was a horrible experience, really. But it all compounded by the fact that I was making that part work. And then when Cheech Marin did it, he wouldn't do Hispanic. He wouldn't do Cheech. So he just delivers his lines. Apparently, I never watched it, in a kind of neutral way. It doesn't get any laughs at all. And so the show was cancelled after 1 series.
Shit.
But I was getting these like.
I can picture that, you in front of the audience, just absolutely fucking killing it. Like, obviously, you're going to do much better in front of a live crowd.
Yeah,
these people, they don't do their research properly, man. And then what a waste of money to film 2 episodes that they know they're going to reshoot.
Yeah. It was a salutary experience. I'm very grateful, because I came back to Britain, really, and Jim Moore, who was then head of comedy at the BBC, was very good to me, and we did the all-new Alexei Sales show with Gremlin and Arthur Matthews, and then...
And you got to meet Cheryl Cole.
No, that was before. And I did like a film for the BBC, and, Jim was very supportive, really.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but it was a bit
of a conspiratorial kind of plot, really, to just like drag you along.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done it in the first place. I wouldn't have done it if it was in Britain. I only did it because it was in the States. I would have been better having nothing to do with it, really. If I was ever going to crack the States, it should have been as a stand-up, really. I never did. I should have done the Montreal Comedy Festival, which I never did out of laziness and cowardice. But that's what I was going to say. Is my friend Oscar is in Buenos Aires at the moment, and he says our Marxism videos are super famous. I'm famous in Argentina because of those.
Oh, great.
Marxism.
Yeah, a lot of the comments are Spanish or in Spanish. Oh, let's go do a gig over there.
All right.
Ask Oscar if they can get us a... But it's going to have to be an arena show because, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's business class. I'm not flying long haul. I'm not flying economy. So business class to Argentina is expensive.
Right. Go to patreon.com/alexeisaylepodcast to support the show. Watch video episodes. Check out Alexei, Lisa, Nigel. Watch the young ones. Look at the writings and the flowcharts from our D&D game. And to just support this independent production that you're listening to right now. Leave a comment on the YouTube. That's patreon.com/alexeisaylepodcast. Leave a comment on the YouTube. Review us on iTunes or whatever, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please, you can email us, alexeisaylepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you, dear listeners. And where's Louise?
Think that's... ¿Dónde está Louise?
¿Dónde está? All right, it's time to say hasta luego, Lex.
Hasta luego, muchachos. Hasta próxima semana. Bye-bye.
There we go. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Alexei Sale Podcast. This show is produced and edited by Talal Karkuti. Music by Tarbush Records. Thanks to Audio Boom for hosting us. Please keep your emails coming in at alexeisaylepodcast@gmail.com. Goodbye.